Hello, hello. So I'm sure most people like me were quite surprised by the news last night about Tether and about the US Attorney General bringing an action against them. This is really bad news. To be quite honest, I think we're lucky that the damage hasn't been worse to Bitcoin or some of the other cryptos, because the damage is pretty bad in Tether. And if you were hiding in Tether, which I was, then you're going to be down a few percent. And, you know, will Tether bounce back again? Yeah, it probably will, but this is the first real action by a real... Now, a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in the United States Attorney General in New York. I'm going to say that there's no smoke without fire. And if they printed Tether to cover a loss that they had to use because clients wanted redemptions, it means... Never mind about whether Tether is backed by US dollars or not. It means that they are not holding enough to cover client funds and they're commingling them. And if you keep your money in Bitfinex, you've been warned, you know? And there were a lot of warnings about Mt. Gox and people didn't get their money out. Like it wasn't a secret. So I think eventually Bitfinex will suffer because some people will take their money out of Bitfinex and the point will come when they won't be able to cover all the redemptions. And then the people that are left will be screwed. Don't let it be you. There's so much choice in exchanges. You don't need to be at Bitfinex. So now I know 850 million is not a lot of money in the big picture of crypto. It's not a lot of money, but it's a warning, that's all I'm saying. It's a warning. Okay, so we'll talk about... Now, on the back of that news, every single crypto asset, every single large cap crypto asset was down on the news. So the only ones that were up, and let's take a look at what the last 24 hours has done for crypto assets. These are the ones up. And look at the market cap of these ones. Like one of the biggest performers was Dent. Well, that's up 10%. That's a funky little coin. Like these are small, not scary. Of the bigger ones, Binance Coin, only down 1%. That's less than Tether. Litecoin was down less than Tether. MCO, TRX, not too bad, better than Bitcoin. Holo Hot, that's a small cap. Theta, ignore that. EOS was down less than Bitcoin. So, there are some places where you could have hid where the damage isn't too bad. You're only down a couple of percent. In the big picture, that's not too bad. Bitcoin on the 24 hours we're down 3%. So anything above Bitcoin here is outperforming. And so, yeah, some of them don't look too bad. And those are the ones when everything stabilizes, you would look to hopefully outperform. So, but at the moment, pretty much nothing in the green that you would want to put large bags, would you? So let's take a look, though, at Bitcoin and where we're going to come back to. So in Bitcoin, I have drawn the fib retrace levels. Let's put them in a darker color. I've drawn the fib retrace levels all the way from the lows on the daily from the rally this year. So from our this year lows to highs back from January. And we're sitting on the 236 fib and we're sitting on the daily 20 moving average. So in this uptrend, if you had been looking to get in, this would be the first place you would be looking to for a bounce. However, this bearish candle that we saw yesterday with a big open close, we're going to use the 50% rule on this open close of this red candle and say that if we don't get above it, we're probably still in a downtrend. So let's mark where that 50% comes in. There we go, 5286. So a daily close above 5286 would say that we're in a new upswing. So we'll go down and we'll mark that level. And that's also probably going to be quite good resistance today on any rally. It's about there. So far today, in fact, that is. What's the high here? 5291. So that's the level that we have to beat. 5291. And whilst we stay underneath it, the likelihood is that we continue lower. If we break or close underneath this 236 fib tonight at 5083, then we should look to 4750 next. That's where the next support is, and potentially we could do 50% back of this swing. I'm looking at the swing from January rather than the swing from December, because I think this is a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and we've now started wave 4. So we shouldn't come back too far. The ideal retrace would be 4750 area, and then we'll go from there. So, but you know, sometimes you only come back to kind of the previous wave 4 and then you carry on. So that's kind of the area we're in now. So it may be that we just consolidate sideways, make a wedge or a triangle pattern, and then we continue higher. So no need to panic. No need to sell everything. You know, just sit tight and wait and see. You know, we do know if we lose this 236 fib support that we'll drop another $250, but that probably will see what happens there. So you might not want to stay in if that happens. The question is now, if you're not going to, you know, if you're not going to stay in, and 80% of us, they say, use Tether instead of US dollar exchanges. So should you use the other? I say there's no problem. I don't think that there's a problem with True USD or Gemini coin. The problem is that a lot of exchanges use Tether, and if it all goes wrong, I don't think it will go immediately, but I think we should try and move away from it. And I think you should maybe not keep, I certainly wouldn't have everything I own in Bitfinex. I wouldn't. Like, never have it all in one exchange. And I think if you look hard, or if you're diversified and you look hard, you can find something. I truly believe now that we're trading above this 200-day moving average. I know we've been knocked back now at the weekly 50 moving average, but we're trading above the weekly 200 moving average. We're trading above the daily 200 moving average. We should be pulling back to find support from these. So if we take this, I'm going to take the fibs away. If we look at this weekly, normally, you know, if you get knocked back at a 50 and you're in that no man's land between the 20 and the 50, that's where you find support. And this 20 moving average on the weekly would be 50% of this swing back. So I'm still, you know, even this weekly, we've rallied to moving averages that are the wrong way around. So we just need to have a dip to put them right, and then we should see a rally again. So yeah, 50% back. I think it would be a bargain, and we should say thank you and buy more, to be honest. But at the moment, you know, look at these weekly. We've just had a super nice rally. In stocks, they would call this a high and tight flag, where you have a big rally and then you consolidate sideways before you carry on again. So we haven't even reversed the daily trend because we haven't taken out the prior swing low. We're holding above it. So all I'm saying is the damage could have been much, much worse. It could have been much worse. It has the potential to get worse. They could shut down Bitfinex. So we'll see.